Alright everybody, what's going on? Dependent Fanatic here, and it's the ACC predictions for 2025. The official predictions for me. I know I've gone through a couple of national title contenders. Well, maybe only one from the ACC. But I think there could be two playoff teams from the conference with the records that I think the teams will have. But when you factor in what the SEC, Big 12, Big 10 have potential for teams in their records, and Notre Dame, and the G5 representative, the ACC might only get one team in. There's only a limited amount of spots, 12 as of right now. So they might only get one team in. They will have a non-conference record of 52-20. That is my prediction after going through every game for this conference, and that is why it could be slim pickings for the playoff. That said, here is every ACC team's predicted record for this season and Notre Dame, because you got to lump them in somewhere, and you guys did. I'm going to start with Notre Dame. Boy, is Notre Dame using your conference, and you get no credit for it at all. It's not a conference win. It doesn't help you to get to a playoff, but it helps Notre Dame dismantling 5 of your teams and never having to play in your conference championship game. So this is your fault. But the Irish, let us start with them. It was not an ACC team, but is mostly affiliated with the ACC, playing 5 of your teams every year. 11-1 is what Notre Dame is going to go. They will be sitting there ready to steal a bid from your own conference because you allowed this to happen. They have at Miami week 1, one of your conference affiliates. And it will be massively important for both parties, Notre Dame and the ACC, to win this game. But I think Notre Dame wins at Miami in week 1. And after that, Notre Dame will beat Purdue at Arkansas, Boise State at home, North Carolina State, Boston College on the road, Navy at Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Stanford, and USC are all going to be at home in Indiana in South Bend. Their one loss will be Texas A&M from the SEC. Notre Dame will go 11-1 and maybe be a playoff team that will have no shot at your conference championship game. Now let's get to the actual ACC team predictions here, and we're going to go from the worst to the best, and I'll give you a champion at the end of this video, which will be an automatic qualifier. You're going to get at least one team into the playoff. All right. Who is this? Wake Forest. Yes. Had to scribble it out and everything. You see that right there. Scribbles. But Wake Forest is going to beat Kennesaw State. They're going to beat Western Carolina. I have them beating SMU at home even, and then Delaware. So 3-1 in the non-conference. But they continue on to go 1-7 in the ACC this season. Tough schedule for them. Boston College is next. 4-8 is what I think their record will be. They'll beat Fordham, California, Connecticut, and SMU all at home. Yes, those two worst teams in the ACC are going to be SMU, so they're probably coming up here and not having a season like you might think they have, in my opinion. Boston College goes 2-2 in the non-conference. So all these non-conference losses are going to be adding up. Like I said, I think 52-20. this conference goes in the non-conference, they play 4 non-conference games to the Big Ten's 3 in the used to be Pac-12's 3. I don't know. The Big 12 I think plays 3 non-conferences, 9 conference games. So that's kind of important with the non-conference record, jockeying for conferences, proving that you are one of the better conferences is the non-conference and what you do there. And it's not going to be good for the entirety of the ACC as Boston College goes 2-2, but they go 2-6 in conference, and I think those 2 wins are at versus Cal and SMU. So Syracuse is going to be 4-8 as well. They beat Connecticut, Colgate, Pittsburgh, Boston College. They go 2-2 in the non-conference, but they go 2-6 as well in the conference. They're going to beat Pittsburgh, and they're going to beat Boston College, one of those other bad teams. Now, all these teams have been 4-8 so far, and there's another one. Stanford, I think, goes 4-8. They're going to lose at Hawaii, or they're going to beat Hawaii on the road, excuse me. They're going to beat Boston College, San Jose State, and Florida State has to go out there. I think you win that game as well. Just an upset out of the blue for college football. That's what we want, right? That's what we expect. Stanford goes 2-2 in the non-conference and 2-6 in conference, taking advantage of their location during their schedule, in my opinion. All right. Virginia, we're stepping up here. I think goes 5-7. They're going to beat Coastal Carolina, William and Mary, Stanford at home, Washington State at home, and Wake Forest at home. All terrible teams, 3-1 in the non-conference, 2-6 in the ACC. And then Pittsburgh is going to be another 5-7 team. Duquesne, CMU, the Central Michigan, by the way, my backyard. I live very near there in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Outside of Mount Pleasant, Michigan, they could beat Pitt, I think. But anyway, Boston College is going to be a win for Pitt. North Carolina State, and then I think off the wall they go out to Stanford and win that game versus the Trees. So they're going to go 3-1 in the non-conference, but they're going to also be 2-6 in the ACC. So them teams are going to be missing a bowl unless a 5-7 team becomes eligible, and then it's up to progress rates in academics for the team, for the program. And Michigan State, I've already done the Big Ten, and Michigan State's going to go 5-7. Could Virginia or Pitt have a better academic rate than Michigan State? Probably not. So they are probably out of the bowls. They're not going to go to a bowl. The next 11 teams will. They will be 6-6 or better, guaranteeing a bowl appearance. I think Virginia Tech goes 6-6. They'll beat ODU, Old Dominion. They'll beat Wofford. They'll beat Wake Forest, Cal, Louisville at home even. That's a sneaky good win for them. And then they'll win at Virginia, their rival. 2-2 in the non-conference, 4-4 in the ACC. NC State and Cal and Florida State and SMU, yes, all 7-5. They're all going to beat the hell out of each other. Cal is going to win at Oregon State, the team that got left out of the Pac-12. Them and Washington State sucks for them. That's terrible. But now they are forming a new Pac-12, I hear, and maybe it could rejoin as a power conference, but we'll see. But that is a win for Cal. Texas State is a win. San Diego State on the road. I think Cal wins. It's still, within the state, close proximity. Cal is the better team. Duke at home. North Carolina at home. I think Cal beats Um, the greatest coach in history, Bill Belichick. They have to go out to California. I think that's a win. Virginia is a win, and then at Stanford is a win. So they're 3-1 in the non-conference, 4-4 in the ACC. Now, NC State is going to go 7-5. They're going to beat ECU, Virginia at Wake Forest, Virginia Tech at home, Campbell, Georgia Tech at home. Could be a tough one, and North Carolina at home could be a tough one as well. But I'm giving you both of those wins: 2-2 in the non-conference, 5-3 in the ACC. So we're getting better there. Florida State gonna go 7-5. Eastern Texas A&M or Eastern Tennessee A&M, whatever, ETAM, some shitty ass team that Florida State definitely should be. That is a win. Kent State is definitely a win for Florida State. It's got to be. Virginia on the road is a win. Pittsburgh at home, Wake Forest at home, Virginia Tech at home, NC State on the road. All wins for Florida State. They go 2-2 in the non-conference. They go 5-3 in the ACC. Now I'm dipping down in the ACC here because I forgot to put them before or after Cal. But SMU 7-5. They're gonna go 4-4 in the ACC. 3-1 though in the non-conference. They're going to be Eastern Texas A&M, the same team Florida State is going to be. They're going to beat Baylor. They're going to beat Missouri State on the road. Why are they doing that? Syracuse is going to be a win for SMU at home. Stanford, Louisville, all at home wins. And then at Cal is one of those games where it shakes things up within the conference. I think that's a win for them. So 3-1 in the non-conference, 4-4 in AC. All right, we're getting better now. An 8-4 team from the ACC. I think Georgia Tech does just that. They're gonna win at Colorado. No more Shadur Sanders. No more Hunter or Travis Hunter. That's a win for Georgia Tech and Haynes King and company. G-Webb, Gardner-Webb is going to be a win. Temple, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Syracuse. They're at Boston College, but that's a win for Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. 8-4 for them. 3-1 in the non-conference and 4-4 in the ACC. Now, North Carolina is going to go 8-4 as well. They're going to beat TCU. They're going to win at Charlotte. They're going to beat Richmond. They're going to beat Virginia at home, at Syracuse, Stanford, Wake Forest on the road, but still a win. And then Duke. They're going to go 3-1 in the non-conference. Their losses are going to be to Clemson, at UCF, at Cal, and at NC State. Yes, I'm getting very specific here for these teams. Bill Belichick's debut will be a good one. The defense has to get better than it was, and Max Johnson, that quarterback, is capable of running his offense. So I think 8-4 for them in year one under the great coach. And then Duke is going to one-up them, though. They're going to go 9-3. Elon is a win. Illinois is at home, and that is very similar type teams. 9-3 capable teams within their own conferences. I think you get Illinois, the Illini, at home. And then you're at Tulane. That should be a win. NC State at home is a win. At Syracuse is a win. Georgia Tech, you beat them. At Connecticut, Wake Forest, and Virginia. So you're 4-0 in the non-conference. But your losses are all in conference, 3 of them. To Cal on the road, to Clemson on the road, and to North Carolina on the road. Yes, better record than North Carolina, but you lose to them. All right, and then the top 3 teams in the conference will be, starting with Louisville. Louisville will go 9-3. They'll be Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green, at Pittsburgh, Virginia, Boston College, Cal, all at home. They get Clemson at home. It's going to be a sneaky good win for them, even though it really won't matter in the long run of this conference. Duke is a win at home for you, and I think you win versus your in-state rival and out-of-conference SEC foe, Kentucky. You're going to go 4-0 in the non-conference. Your losses are at Miami, at Virginia Tech, and at SMU. So SMU is not lifeless. They can beat some good teams, and it's going to be Louisville. All right, Clemson is going to go 10-2. They're going to beat LSU, Troy, at Georgia Tech, Syracuse at Boston College. SMU and then Duke are both at home along with Florida State. And then they're at UNC, which is a game that I switched. I have you winning that game now, you Tigers. And then Furman, of course, is going to be a win as well. Your non-conference loss is going to be South Carolina at the end of the season on the road. But it really doesn't matter as far as the ACC is concerned. But you're also going to have a loss in conference at Louisville, which, like I said, really doesn't matter because you finish with one conference loss, you're in. Just like the next team, Miami. You are both into the ACC title game. Miami's going to go 10-2, though. So the best team in the ACC, I think, goes 10-2 in the regular season. Two of them, but still. BCU, whatever that, Bethune Cookman or something maybe, at home. USF, then you're at Florida State. I think you win that game. Louisville's another win for you. Stanford, at SMU, Syracuse, NC State, at Virginia Tech, and at Pitt are all wins. 8-0 in the ACC conference. Your two losses are going to be to Notre Dame, who can't play in your conference championship, and that's a good thing for you because they already whooped up on your ass, and that is one of your losses. And then you're going to lose to Florida as well, both of those games at home. So who wins that game? If you don't know, I have done my national title predictions on our national title teams that could be, and Clemson was one of them. I think Clemson wins the ACC. I think they go on to make the college football playoff with the automatic qualifier. Miami could make the playoff with that loss, but that puts them at 3 losses. And there are some Big Ten teams and SEC teams that are going to have 3 losses. So could they get in as well? That's why I'm limiting it to just 2 possible right now and probably 1 for the ACC. You'll have to stay tuned. I've already done the Big Ten Conference. They have taken a couple of spots. Notre Dame, I just did. I think 11-1 gets them into the playoff. And then there's the Group of 5 team as well. We have to see what the Big 12 and the SEC is going to do. So here we go. That's what I had. ACC right now. I had the Big 10 earlier. Look forward. Keep watching, and you'll see the Big 12 predictions and then the SEC predictions. I'll save not the best for last. Last but not least. Start with the best. And with the second best conference probably, which is going to be the SEC. So go ahead and comment. What do you think? You can hate on me if you want, ACC fans, but that's just what I have. And basically it's the same thing. Nothing really changed my mind after all the recruiting and all the transfer portal and everything. I pretty much still have the same thoughts that I had coming off last season's results for all these teams this season. Not much has changed since way back 4 or 5 months ago. Um, and I have done my research, and it's what it is. It's not a very good conference right now, ACC. So you have to do better. Prove me wrong. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Like the video, share with other people, subscribe if you have not. Thank you to all of you that have and stuck with it. The off season's almost over, and that's where I shine. I'm not good at these types of filler videos, but these ones, the predictions seem to do pretty well. So, and I seem to hit on most all of them, except for Michigan winning it all last year because I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to have a quarterback. Everything else was in place, so I was majorly wrong there. But stay tuned, everybody. Have a great night. Go Blue, though.